Everybody like, hey, are you ready to go? Ready to go? Everybody like,
Hey, hello, what's up y'all? Soul here and welcome back to my story mode. So, just to give you a gauge of what's going on here, I personally love to do these podcast style discussions where I have a thought and I just talk about it for a little while. Hopefully you got me on in the background or something like that while you're doing your chores or whatever, because I just want to have a chit chat about games and stuff that I like and things within the gaming realm and everything like that. So, hopefully you're just here to kick back, just have something on in the background, and just listen to me as I ramble about my thoughts and ideas on things. But I also like to do very in-depth, heavily edited stuff as well, as proven by my main channel, Soul Story Mode, where I do anything and everything related to Pokemon, for the most part. So, that's there if you want to check out the more heavily edited stuff. But for now, I want to get a gauge on, who's here, what you guys want to see, and things like that. So for now, I'm just going to do daily content regarding things that I like, regarding stuff like Nintendo, obviously with this video here, and maybe some other games that I enjoy, and possibly some anime starting up this week. So we'll see what happens. But that's not what we're here to talk about. So if you came here, you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. Today we're here to talk about Smash. Now, at this point in time, it's been about a year or two since we got our final character for Smash, which is Sora, my all-time favorite Smash character now, no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm so happy that he made it in. That's my boy, that's my main. I love Kingdom Hearts to death. You're gonna hear about it on this channel plenty, because Kingdom Hearts 4 is on its way, and you will never get me to shut up about it the moment we hear about the next trailer. I promise you. But again, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to focus on Smash, and it's been a while since we've had our final character, and now, once again, we're unsure about the future of Smash Brothers, since almost every single time a Smash Brothers game is created and published and everything like that, Sakurai, the creator of Smash, is never sure of what's gonna happen next, especially because Smash in of itself is an exhausting development, because it's so on the nose, it's so cautious and so careful with all of its characters. Every inclusion is just made with pure love and dedication. Every ounce of it is poured in by Sakurai and his team, and they are blessed. We are blessed to have them. Alright, no matter what they do next, no matter what they decide to do next, I'm always going to be thankful for what they've given us with the Smash series, and I'm super happy that we have what we have at all, and I'm not at all unhappy with how any of the Smash games turned out. None of them are perfect. They each have their own individual flaws and things like that, because one thing that you're going to hear me say often on this channel is that there's no such thing as a flawless game. Everything in the world has a flaw. There's no such thing as perfect. That's just a concept to me. So, that's how I feel about it at the end of the day. But the Smash games are amazing, and I'm very happy with them no matter what, right? So, as you've seen in the title, I wanted to talk about a possibility of how Smash could potentially evolve without Sakurai. Now, before we get into that, there's two things that I really want to clarify here. For one thing, like I said, I love Smash as a series. It's a great concept, and having it as a 2D platform fighter makes the enjoyment and replayability more long-term than most games that I could possibly think of, especially with something as big as this celebration of gaming crossover with so many different Nintendo IPs and other third parties and stuff like that. It is a perfect celebration of gaming, and I love Smash as it is. It's very fun, it's very well made, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts that it is one of my favorite series, right? And the second thing that I want to make a note is that I love Sakurai as a developer, okay? He's an incredible developer, and he has amazing ideas, and he's proven that not only with Smash, the entirety of the series, but with his other IPs as well, such as Kirby, which is just a huge figure in gaming, and Kid Icarus, which is his most underrated figure of gaming, or at least in the Nintendo space. So, just saying, this is nothing against, I'm not trying to do this video in a way to talk down Smash as it is or talk down Sakurai as a developer. I love them both, but I also want to see a future with this series that, maybe nobody really considered. I'm sure other people have considered ideas like this, but this is just something that's been on my mind for a long time, and I really wanted to talk about that. So, now, Smash in of itself, it's great as it is, 2D platform, arena fighter. It's super cool and everything like that, and I've always had fun having friends over to play our little multiplayer things like that, yada yada yada. However, at the end of the day, when it comes to like multiplayer games and stuff like that, like party games or whatever, it's good, it's fun, it's dandy, I love them, but I will always prefer the single player story driven experience as opposed to a multiplayer one that's completely dependent on multiplayer and stuff like that. I love stories. I like to write stories myself, and I love seeing how others develop their stories, whether it be through shows, through games, through books, through anything. I love stories. And with Smash, I feel like a lot of us can agree that one of the most underutilized concepts within the Smash realm is telling their stories. Smash has really evolved as a series. Truly it has, because it's now at the point where the series in of itself, the concept of Smash, this 2D platformer with all of your favorite characters all wrapped into one into this fighter, is its own console selling standalone game. Like, it's such a strong IP for Nintendo specifically that it is a console seller in of itself. Like, when people were picking up Wii U's and 3DS's and stuff like that, a good majority of them were because Smash was coming to them. And I can't imagine how many people picked up Switches due to the fact that they knew that Smash Ultimate was gonna, make its way there. And that was like, what? Like a year after the Switch came out? Like a full year and a half? So it just goes to show how big of an IP Smash in of itself has become, right? It's easily competing with Mario and Zelda, and that's because, it does have Mario and Zelda in it, of course, that's part of the reason why, but in of itself, it's competing with those other series as its own thing, and that's incredible, that's awesome, that's amazing, right? And, it's not to say that I don't want another 2D platformer, a traditional Smash game, or anything like that. It's cool as is. However, I feel like we should take this time, this downtime, to, really understand what the opportunities, like what kind of opportunities Smash has to utilize a story of some kind, right? Because think about it for a second with me here. We had, in Brawl, Subspace Emissary. This was the thing that kicked off everything here, right? Subspace Emissary was legendary. It's one of the craziest things to happen in Nintendo history. Easy, right? Because it was the first time, outside of just the battles, we could see these characters actually interacting with each other, Their personalities shine through. Even though everybody was silent, their personalities still managed to shine through these cutscenes and these events that they had to fight through together. And it was amazing. It was captivating, and memorizing, wow. I can't say words anymore. It was captivating and mesmerizing, and a lot of us wanted to see a lot more of that because it was so awesome to see some of your favorite characters get introduced the way they did, you know what I mean? For me personally, one of my highlights of Subspace Emissary was Sonic coming through at the last minute and saving everybody by clipping off Taboo's wings. That was one of the sickest things I didn't even know Sonic was in the game at that. I had no idea. So seeing that made me so unbelievably happy. Like, I was just beside myself to see my boy, one of my favorite video game characters, come through like an absolute unit and just save everybody. And that was sick. That was awesome. Kirby saving everybody by just slicing through Ganon and Bowser's cannon, from Otherworld. That was awesome. And there's just, I want nothing more than more things like that. More just epic storytelling like that, right? And so, throughout the years, they made it very clear that, it was very hard to do something like Subspace Emissary, specifically because it took away from the main game's development, right? It took away from, really, truly making the gameplay stable and solid, which is why when it comes to, gameplay aspects, Brawl was never really in the competitive scene all that much because of its, its function. It didn't function generally as well as Melee did, which, is understandable. It it didn't move a lot like the previous games. It played more like, it was more focused on its story and its party game aspects than it was the competitive space, right? Which is also one of Smash's, like, highest selling points, the one thing that gave it the most longevity. And a lot of us understood that, So going into Smash 4, we didn't have a story at all. And we found that really unfortunate to have something as cool as Subspace Emissary as that big other thing that you could participate in other than fighting against your friends. And then going into Smash 4, we had Smash Run and that board game thing with the Miis. I don't even remember what that was called, but it sucked. There's no denying that. So, what I'm saying is that, it was kind of crummy for a while with Smash 4, and then, or Smash, Wii U and 3DS, just Smash 4, whatever. And then with Smash Ultimate, especially in the marketing phase, during the advertisement phase, we saw glimpses and tidbits of World of Light, and we had hope, because, we thought that finally, after all this time, they would finally have a way to mix, to properly have time to develop and mix the gameplay, and make it the way they want, and as well as tell a story, that would blend well with it, not having to sacrifice one or the other, which would have been phenomenal, right? And, me personally, I should have figured that wasn't really possible given the release date, which was my birthday that year, but beside the point. World of Light gave us a little bit of hope that we might actually have a really cool story on our hands, that beginning scene was so epic, everybody getting just blasted away by that light from Galeem, and just taking everybody away, Kirby barely making it out alive, right? Because if Kirby didn't survive, nobody would have survived. So, that was really, really cool. And then, there was all of these different, like, World of Lights, like, references and things like that within a lot of the trailers when we were, getting around to the game itself, and that was really, really awesome. The trailers were the best they had ever been at that point with Smash Ultimate, So, we had hope with World of Light, and I think it's very obvious to a lot of us that, I mean, again, this is definitely just an opinion of mine personally, that it didn't deliver at all. Like, the initial idea was awesome, it was great, and we had that cutscene that led us into everything, which was awesome, and then nothing. We just get this big mini-game thing, this big board thing that we just go across and collect all the characters, which, it's cool in of itself. It's definitely better than what we had beforehand. I will take that over Smash Run and the other thing any day of the week, right? Well, maybe not. I don't know. Smash Run is debatable. The 3DS version had the best form of that for a while, that we have for a while, but it was a good idea and concept, but it just still doesn't match up to what I would have wanted, you know what I mean? I feel like they could have easily thrown in a couple of cutscenes here and there when Kirby was reuniting all of these characters and when we were meeting everybody, and that would have been super, super nice, but, that would have taken up too much time, and they made sure to focus more on the gameplay in of itself as opposed to World of Light, which I totally, totally, totally understand. I get it. But it didn't give us anything. We had the cutscene, we went through the entire game, and we beat Galeem. Hooray, awesome. We had Subspace Emissary, which had all of these different unique characters interacting with one another, how they would actually, react if they were to meet one another. Meta Knight meeting Lucario, and them discovering Snake hiding in a box. You know what I mean? Samus befriending Pikachu and going through this entire, research facility and stuff like that. Fox and them Fox meeting Peach and, ready to defend her from Game & Watch or whatever. It was so unique to see all of these characters have their personality shine through these little cutscenes. It was great to see. But we didn't get anything even remotely like that with World of Light, and I could not even tell you how, like, I could not begin to tell you how disappointed I was. So, you get the gist of it, right? I wanted more storytelling. That's it. I'm just, I love Smash, but I just really, really wanted more storytelling, and I was hoping World of Light would give me a smidge of what we had in Subspace, but it gave us little to nothing in that arena. So, it is what it is, right? And so, I personally have come to the conclusion when thinking about this that we're kind of in need of a genre switch, right? Maybe some kind of like spin-off series where they could focus on some kind of storytelling as opposed to, making the multiplayer aspect of this game or this series perfect, right? A long shot, I know. I'm sure we've heard about this plenty of times before. I personally haven't. I've heard nobody talk about this, but I would love some kind of a trial period where we get some kind of spin-off, like an RPG or something like that, that would utilize, at the very least, baseline the main Nintendo IPs in a big crossover adventure, I would have loved to see World of Light as its own separate situation. Like, imagine if World of Light was this situation where, it was turn-based, it was an RPG, and you're fighting all of these strengthened enemies from all of these characters' worlds and things like that. And as you go along, you're collecting more and more characters, and you can use a couple of them. You can use them as you wish on your team and stuff like that, I would love to see an RPG version that would be able to focus on the story and maybe, see these characters shine through with personality, and we would be able to see the fun interactions between them, because I miss that. I would love to see more of that. That's the biggest thing with crossovers nowadays, is that unfortunately they all kind of fall into what Smash is, in which they all have to be a 2D platform fighter, But why is that? Why is it that all crossovers now need to be the same thing? You know what I mean? And it's not even just that, it's a copy or anything like that, but I haven't seen anybody do anything like different when it comes to their like big massive crossovers, Multiverses, as an example, recently with, all of these different Warner Brothers characters. It's a 2D platformer fighter, PlayStation All-Stars, it's a 2D platformer fighter. Nickelodeon Brawl Stars, 2D platform fighter with all their Nickelodeon exclusives. Like, why can't we try something different? Why does it have to be a platform fighter? Why couldn't it be a JRPG? Why couldn't it be, just something new? And, we're at the point with Smash where Sakurai is very tired. We've heard this time and time again. Every single new game, he never knows if a new one is coming out because he is tired. He is exhausted of developing this series, but Nintendo drags him back because it's one of their big money makers. There's no ifs, ands, or buts in denying that. It is one of their biggest money makers. And the only person that Sakurai trusts to do Smash is himself. Which is, it's very big-headed, but I get it. Smash is his baby, and, he's never seen anybody really with the capabilities of doing what he's done, with all of these other games out that are very similar, as proof that so far there's been nobody who's been able to direct a game that can stand up to anything like Smash. So, I understand. But I would love to see Smash try something different, to maybe advertise to these other developers, hey, you want to do a crossover, maybe you could try something different with it that would allow, you to tell a story, do something unique, For example, I don't know if you know me, I love Persona, and one of, Persona's crossovers, because they have a lot of crossovers themselves, or I'm sorry, one of their spin-offs, rather, is their crossovers, right? They have a crossover series called Persona Q, and in Persona Q, Q and Q2, it's a mix of Persona 3, 4, and 5. The biggest, draw towards those games was getting to see these characters that you've come to love throughout these games, the C's characters, the investigation team, the Phantom Thieves, all of them. You got to see them finally meet one another, right? And that was one of the biggest appeals of those games. And so, I want to see more like that. More of these, like, yes, this is a crossover that can tell a story. I want just to see more. Something different, something unique, you know? And I'm no game developer. I could come up with concepts and things like that all day and night, but at the end of the day, it's not up to me. You know what I mean? I could spinball ideas at you all day long, but we're already at the 20-minute mark, and that would be crazy because I could go on for hours on end. But a crossover series that allows these characters to truly have personalities and maybe really truly interact with each other. You know what I mean? I would love to see, you know, Zelda genuinely interacting with like Daisy and Peach and stuff like that, you know, actually having thoughts about where to go next, how to handle the situation at hand, you know, because she's very calculated like that. She would be, or at least the current Zelda is, you know, she would handle business like that, you know, the heroes, Mario and Link teaming up to go, you know, take their mission on and stuff like that. I just feel like there's so much potential with Smash as an IP that has yet to be tapped into and utilized. And if we were to tap into that potential and utilize it to make spin-offs that could be something very unique and different, I feel like it would give a little bit of a break towards Sakurai and the team, because if we were to get something unique and new and different that we actually enjoyed, I feel like they could, you know, wean off just a little bit on only relying solely on the 2D platformer fighter that Sakurai is known for. And it would also allow for us as fans of these series, or of this series specifically, to get something new and, you know, have that little itch, right? This is more of a me thing personally, but to have that little itch scratched where we could get story, we could get unique interactions and development and stuff like that through these mini stories, through spin-off games. And if, you know, that would allow maybe Sakurai and the team to focus solely on what Smash is at its heart, at its core. And maybe he'd be more inclined to do it, or maybe he'd be more inclined to let the series go in a different direction, and maybe he could focus on something else that he loves. Again, like Kirby or Kid Icarus. But that's just a thought. You know what I mean? Would it ever happen? I doubt it. I don't think that it's impossible, but I think that it is so unlikely that it's close to impossible, because, you know, it ain't broke, so there's really nothing to fix there, or at least not in their eyes. They got their money from it, just do it again. It truly is that simple for them, you know what I mean? But we'll have to see, because, you know, a man can dream. And realistically, when thinking about this, you know, if they were to do some kind of spin-off for the Smash series, it probably would not be nearly as big. It couldn't be nearly as big, because there's no way in hell they would get that many third parties again, especially for something like an RPG. You know, they wouldn't give their IPs to something that they know wouldn't sell like that, you know what I mean? So it would be a risky move overall, and I'm fine with the core characters, you know, the main Nintendo IPs doing one big crossover, you know, Mario, Kirby, Samus, DK, Link, all of them, maybe Sonic, because Sonic, he could be everywhere at once and not be a big deal, but, you know, that's just a little thought I had, a little dream that I would love to see flourish in some way, shape, or form, but I don't know, we'll have to play that one by ear, but that's where I'm at. What are you guys thinking over there? Do you think that I'm absolutely insane? There's no way in hell that Smash could ever change the way it is? Or do you think that I'm onto something? That Smash has potential to be something different without killing what it truly is? A celebration of gaming, a celebration of, you know, all these, you know, unique different characters and something with some good story. Tell me what you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I'm always going to be down there with you guys. And if you want to hear more about this, we can definitely talk more about it. But anyway, but yeah, I would like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more discussions and stuff just like this. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and skedaddle on out of here. Thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor, taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!